Hello everyone, welcome back to another pre-match live show, and this is Yuvraj Dua, and today I'll be conversing with you alone. I don't have Vedan with me today, so I'll be alone today, and I'll be discussing a lot of things as we always do. We'll discuss about the best tweets before the game. We'll discuss about the playing 11, what can be the possible combinations in the teams, who has a better chance of winning the game, what can happen at the toss. So straight away, first we'll talk about yesterday's game. It wasn't again an interesting game per se because we saw Punjab going against Mumbai, and it was a tough game for them because in the first innings Mumbai managed a big score and Punjab failed to catch on. Punjab failed to get over the line. KL Rahul हमने देखा कप्तानी में कुछ क्वेश्चनेबल डिसीजंस रहे, जैसे जिमी नीशम को चौथा ओवर देना. ही कंसीडर्ड 53 रन्स इन 4 ओवर्स इन हिज कोटा ऑफ 4 ओवर्स, और उसके बाद कृष्णप्पा गौतम को लास्ट ओवर देना, एंड hence Mumbai were able to get to 191 after the end of 20 overs, and it was a huge total in the end for Punjab as it turned out. काफी मुश्किल रहा होगा उनके लिए चेस करना, क्योंकि KL Rahul didn't perform, Mayank Agarwal didn't perform, and they are really dependent on these two. इसके अलावा Nicholas Puran did really well, but I think he failed to get a substantial score. एक मैच विनिंग स्कोर नहीं बना पाए, 40s में रुक जाना, that always can't be helpful because you have to go on and contribute to a winning cause. Even Glenn Maxwell wasn't able to do that. He is looking really out of touch. लग नहीं रहा है कि अपनी टीम को मैचेस जिता पाएंगे. तो ग्लेन मैक्सवेल इज वन प्रॉब्लम इन द मिडिल ऑर्डर दे विल बी लुकिंग एट, क्योंकि सिर्फ गेंदबाजी के लिए तो है नहीं, गेंदबाजी और फील्डिंग के लिए टीम में है नहीं. इसलिए आई थिंक पंजाब हैव अ लॉट ऑफ things to look at, whereas Mumbai have gone straight away to the top of the table and they're number 1 now. इसके अलावा let's move on to today's game. It's Chennai versus Hyderabad, number 7 versus number 8 in the table. ज्यादा हम देखते नहीं है ये चीज कि चेन्नई लास्ट पोजीशन पे प्लेस्ड है, बट अभी सिर्फ 3 ही मैचेस हुए हैं, एंड लेट्स सी चेन्नई आर एबल टू टर्न दिस अराउंड और नॉट. Hyderabad are also in dire straits at the moment. We've seen so far that at that number 3, number 4 spot, Kane Williamson and Manish Pandey have come in. Johnny Westo and David Warner are reliable, but if these 3-4 cluster of players don't perform, who will perform for them? Because Riyan Parag, we've seen that he's not the best of T20 players. He doesn't have that strength yet that he can go on and play those big cameos for your team. But I think they need to also rectify their middle order. काफी दिक्कत है. नबी की जगह केन विलियमसन आए थे पिछले मैच में, and we saw him performing really well, but again down the order they haven't got one big hitter that they require to get that big score towards 190-200. जैसे मैंने पिछली बार भी कहा था कि अगर हैदराबाद अपनी पूरी जान भी लगा देती है, they go all out, still it will be very tough for them to reach around 190-195. So first let's straight away go towards both the possible playing 11s, and let's have a look at the squad first. Let's have a look at Chennai. Of course, in the batting department, they do have Shane Watson, and with him, Murli Vijay has been opening. I don't know if they'd like to go with the same combination in this match as well, but right now I think he will be there. Apart from that, in their batting armory, they have Faf du Plessis, they have Ambati Raidu. Ruturaj Gaikwad again didn't look like he was in touch. Looks like he isn't cut out for that T20 game, so definitely Narayan Jagdishan could be a good option. अगर मुरली विजय को अगर आप रिप्लेस करने के लिए देख रहे हैं तो नारायण जगदीशन एक अच्छे ऑप्शन हो सकते हैं. तमिलनाडु प्रीमियर लीग में काफी अच्छा परफॉर्म किया है अपनी टीम के लिए, सो नारायण जगदीशन कैन बी एन एक्सप्लोसिव ओपनर. मुरली विजय डजंट look really good. He's not middling the ball. He seems out of touch. The coronavirus suspension seems to have taken a toll on him. So Murli Vijay might have to make his way out soon. इसके अलावा अगर आप ऑलराउंडर्स की बात करें तो फिलहाल शेन वॉटसन, who doesn't bowl at all, लेकिन फिर भी ऑलराउंडर स्लॉट में प्लेस्ड है क्योंकि he can bowl. So that's why he's an all-rounder. Dwayne Bravo and Mitchell Santner currently haven't been featuring in the side. Dwayne Bravo is of course suffering from injury, and Sam Curran has gleefully accepted that vacant spot. So Sam Curran is there. Ravindra Jadeja, who's been receiving hammerings in the first 2-3 games, and he doesn't look at his best. because he's not turning the ball. That's why I think, and he's bowling really quickly, which is coming onto the bat. Kedar Jadhav again has been featuring in the playing 11, hasn't got much opportunities down the order, and he isn't bowling as well. So again, they might want to look at how to go forward with Kedar Jadhav. Piyush Chawla, very important component of their bowling armory. Piyush Chawla will be one bowler that MS Dhoni would want to rely on to get you important wickets and at important times. Apart from that, in the bowling department, we've seen Josh Hazelwood, who featured in the last game. Then Shardul Thakur hasn't been able to get a place into the side. Deepak Chahar, another really vital bowler for them with the new ball. Asif, Sai Kishore and Karan Sharma haven't yet featured for them, and Imran Tahir is also still sitting out. Lungi and Gidi sat out because of Josh Hazelwood. So a really strong bowling bench strength for Chennai. Apart from that, if we have a look on the other side, if we look at Hyderabad, in the last match, we saw Abdul Samad replace Ridhiman Shah in the middle order, of course, and he did impress one and all with his 1-6 over cow corner. So he looked like he packs a punch. So he will retain his spot, I think. Apart from that, we've seen Manish Pandey has made this IPL is his own. He's been doing really well in the first two games, and he looks really good. इन फॉर्म लग रहे हैं, कॉन्फिडेंट लग रहे हैं, तो मनीष पांडे पे काफी ज्यादा दारोमदार रहेगा. हैदराबाद विल बी रिलाइंग ऑन मनीष पांडे इन द मिडिल ऑर्डर एंड ही नीड्स टू डिलीवर. लास्ट मैच में हमने देखा गॉट अ सिंगल डिजिट स्कोर. He'll want to turn this around in this innings. He'd want to stitch a good partnership with Kane Williamson if possible. Apart from that, I think Priyam Garg might be struggling in the lower middle order because प्रियम गर्ग डेफिनेटली नीड्स टाइम एट द क्रीज. और अगर आप प्रियम गर्ग को खिलाना चाहते हैं तो आप दी ऑर्डर खिलाएं. उनकी गलती नहीं है कि अपर मिडिल ऑर्डर में आपकी जगह नहीं बन रही है. तो थोड़ा अगेन ऑप्टिमम यूटिलाइजेशन प्रियम गर्ग का बिल्कुल नहीं हो पा रहा है डाउन द ऑर्डर. ही इज प्रोबेबली इन द टीम फॉर हिज फील्डिंग ओनली. डेविड वार्नर, जॉनी बेस्टो, the ever reliable pair at the opening, the most prolific partnership of IPL 2019, and David Warner and Johnny Bairstow will again need to provide a good start to this team because इनके नीचे ज़्यादा कुछ है नहीं. Of course, Kane Williamson के आने से that middle order has been bolstered. It looks more robust. The team balance looks better. But Manish Pandey और Kane Williamson के बाद अगर आप देखें, there's not much to look at. Then Rashid Khan and Mohammad Nabi, of course, the two Afghani. Rashid Khan, 3 overs, 14 runs and 3 wickets in the last game. He was an absolute star. He's always been an absolute star going forward into the tournament. We'll see him getting more and more wickets, stemming the flow of runs. That's what he's in the team for. And we've also seen his exploits with the bat. So Rashid Khan, another vital player in their squad. इसके अलावा अगर आप नीचे कुछ नजर डालें, अभिषेक शर्मा इज आल्सो देयर इन द स्क्वाड, द फ्लोटर एज वी कॉल हिम इन दिस साइड. सो अभिषेक शर्मा विल ऑफ कोर्स बी देयर. Vijay Shankar has been sitting out. It's a real problem, I think, because he can be brought in place of Priyam Garg, according to me, because Priyam Garg is not performing the role he's supposed to right now. ऐसा लग रहा है कि प्रियम गर्ग को बस टीम में रखा हुआ है because he can play, he can do a good job with the bat, but I think they'll be better served if they play Vijay Shankar instead of Priyam Garg. In the bowling department, the Indian pace bowling attack looks really good. Khalil Ahmed, Sandeep Sharma, Basil Thampi, Siddharth Kaul, Natarajan has been doing really well. He's been nailing his Yorkers, he's been nailing his line and lengths. Natarajan looks really good. Shahbaz Nadeem hasn't got an opportunity yet. So again, a good bench strength of bowling. Bhuvneshwar Kumar again did well in the last game. One overseas pacer who might get a chance going into this tournament, going forward into this tournament, which is Billy Stanley. लेकिन अभी क्योंकि जगह बन नहीं रही है, ऑलरेडी 4 ओवरसीज की स्पॉट्स फिल हो चुके हैं, इसलिए बिली स्टैनली को लगता नहीं ज्यादा मौका मिल पाएगा. इसके बाद सीधा अगर हम आए टेस्ट tweets before the game, our most fun segment, I think. Let's read those tweets first of all. First one is from Ganesh Shetty. He says, with Williamson, Sunrisers batting looks better. Samad was promising. I feel Priyam Garg won't be useful as a lower order batsman, so I just expect one change. Priyam Garg could make way for Vijay Shankar or Shahbaz Nadeem. They can't trust Abhishek to bowl 4 overs against CSK. I agree with his first 5 statements that Priyam Gar could make way for Shahbaz Nadeem or Vijay Shankar. I think it will be Vijay Shankar because they don't need an extra bowler right now. They need an extra batter lower down the middle order. So I think Priyam Gar could be replaced by Vijay Shankar. I don't see scope for Shahbaz Nadeem coming in, but I don't think you can rely on Abhishek Sharma to bowl 4 overs. So Ganesh Shetty, you got it almost spot on. Uh, but I don't. They can't trust Abhishek to bowl 4 overs. Oh, you're saying they can't trust Abhishek to bowl 4 overs? Yes, yes, I think he's absolutely right. But I think even if they bring Vijay Shankar in, they can bowl those leftover 2-3 overs by Vijay Shankar. Vijay Shankar can bowl, so I think Nadeem or Shankar both are a good choice. I'll prefer Vijay Shankar because he's a proper batter and he can also bowl. He can chip in with a few overs. Nadeem is again a proper bowler. You'd want to play him for 4 overs, but I don't think his place is there right now in the side. Bowling department looks already packed, so they don't need Shahbaz Nadeem for me, I think. Let's move on to the next tweet. Rohit Shankar at I am Rohit underscore SN. He says Faf gave Imran Tahir the ball in the first over of the first game of an ODI World Cup in England to counter Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow. Proteas had a bad World Cup, but that move from Faf was brilliant. I think that's what he means by that. Throw Tahir at Bairstow early today. No Warner is there still. Hmm. Interesting observation, a really interesting observation. Imran Tahir hasn't played yet because I think Piyush Chawla, the Indian leggy, is doing a fine job with the ball, and they already have 4 overseas. So if Imran Tahir comes in, I think I've always said that when you give a suggestion that a player should come in, also suggest which player should go out. So if they want to bring Imran Tahir in place of an Indian spinner, then they'll have to change another Indian for an overseas player for an Indian, and I don't think there's scope for that yet. Only change possible again would be Imran Tahir in place of Josh Hazelwood, which I don't think will happen. Josh Hazelwood bowled fabulously in the last game, and it was a really good move. I saw that live. That Faf du Plessis gave Imran Tahir the first over to counter Johnny Bairstow and Jason Roy. So could MS Dhoni could be looking at that, but conditions are really different. Those England conditions were really different, and these are, I think, opposite ends of the spectrum. So I think they won't be going in with Imran Tahir today, and they'll persist with Josh Hazelwood, Sam Curran, and Deepak Chahar in the pace department. So that was our segment of best tweets before the game. And now, if we have a look at the probable playing 11, लेकिन उससे पहले हम जरूर बात कर लेते हैं कि राइडू की प्लेइंग 11 में क्या वापसी होगी, और लग तो ऐसा रहा है कि राइडू प्लेइंग 11 में वापस आएंगे, एंड इट विल रियली बोल्स्टर देयर मिडल ऑर्डर when Raidu comes back, because थोड़ी दिक्कतें लग रही हैं. फाफ डू प्लेसी हैज बीन प्लेइंग द रोल ऑफ एन एंकर. राइडू प्लेइंग 11 में वापस आएंगे तो मिडिल ऑर्डर में वो जो एक बैलेंस होता है, जो आपको स्ट्रेंथ चाहिए होती है, अंबती राइडू fulfills that role for you, fulfills that mandate for you. If he plays at number 3 and after that Faf du Plessis comes in, or Ambati Raidu comes in at number 4, it will be really good for Chennai's chances, because the single match they've won so far, it's been because of Ambati Raidu. He scored 72 of 41. That was an absolutely fabulous innings. He's become such a great T20 player in the recent past. Last year we saw he did a fabulous job opening the batting. Before that also he was really, really good. He's worked on his fitness. He looks really good. He looks confident. So with Ambati Raidu coming back, Chennai will be emboldened. They will be embellished, adorned by the presence of Ambati Raidu, and it will be really good for their chances, especially against Hyderabad, who are also encountering problems in their middle order. So on one hand, if Ambati Raidu comes in, problem solved. Ruturaj Gaikwad will have to go out, and Ruturaj Gaikwad didn't look in the best of forms, as I said. Doesn't look like a trademark T20 player. But Ambati Raidu, on the other hand, experienced, destructive, solid technique, sound technique, easy on the eyes, good fielder, can also bowl 1 or 2 overs. So I think Ambati Rayudu coming back really will be great prospect for Chennai. On the other hand, let's move on to the probable playing 11s. What can be the playing 11s? Uh, First, we'll of course talk about Chennai. So we have Ruturaj Gaikwad, Shane Watson, Faf du Plessis, and Ambati Rayudu as our four top of the order players. We are expecting that Murli Vijay will make way for Ruturaj Gaikwad at the opening slot. Let me tell you a few things about Ruturaj Gaikwad first. In domestic cricket, whenever he's played for his domestic state team, whether he's played for India A, India B, all the unofficial and official matches he's played, he's been a trademark opener, and he's always opened the innings that's where he feels most comfortable batting at. And I think Ruturaj Gaikwad, you playing him in the middle order doesn't do justice to his abilities. So to do that, in order to do that, you need to bring him at the top of the order. You need him to open the innings. And since Murli Vijay uh, has looked out of touch, he hasn't been in form, and it isn't looking like he can catch on. So I think bringing Ruturaj Gaikwad instead of Murli Vijay at the top of the order will be a great option for Chennai, and it will be contributing to their chances of winning the game. Then, of course, Shane Watson, Faf du Plessis, and then Ambati Rayudu will return. And we talked at length about Ambati Rayudu's return. Him returning to the squad will be, I mention again, will be great for their chances. They're at the moment placed 8th on the points table, and they need to move up. MS Dhoni will be mindful of that fact. Ambati Rayudu coming in will again be a great prospect for them. MS Dhoni, we've been talking again at length about him. He needs to bat up the order at least at number 5. क्योंकि अगर आप पहले 4 देखें तो राज गायकवाड़ की बात की, शेन वॉटसन की बात की, फाफ डु प्लेसी, अंबती रायडू, इससे ऊपर शायद एमएस धोनी बैट नहीं कर पाएंगे. यू वांट टू गिव टाइम टू योर बेस्ट बैटर्स. ठीक है, पहले 4 आप खिला रहे हैं, बट नंबर 5 से अगर नीचे आएंगे, एमएस धोनी वोंट गेट टाइम बिकॉज he has that ability to take the game away from you. He has that ability to finish games. He can change the game in a moment for you in the matter of 1 or 2 overs. I don't know why he's been batting so much down the order. Kedar Jadhav, again, we haven't seen much of him, not understanding his role in this team. Sam Curran has been fabulous. He's been contributing with the bat, with the ball, in the field, all 3 departments packed. Sam Curran, prima facie, on the looks of it, doesn't look like the most destructive of T20 players, but he's very clever and he's very prudent when it comes to his bowling and batting. बैटिंग में तो काफी डिस्ट्रक्टिव है सैम करन, हमने देखा है. गेंदबाजी में काफी चालाक और क्लेवर बॉलर हैं, तो अपनी स्विंग का थोड़ा सा इस्तेमाल करके, सीम का स्विंग ज्यादा अवेलेबल है नहीं, तो क्रॉस सीम पकड़ के कभी या कटर्स का इस्तेमाल करके बैट्समैन को असमंजस में पहुंचा सकते हैं. इसके बाद रविंद्र जडेजा विल बी देयर. And we are also expecting Dwayne Bravo to come back. Dwayne Bravo has recovered from injury. तो देखते हैं कि किस कॉम्बिनेशन के साथ जाना चाहेगी. हो सकता है कि Dwayne Bravo जॉश हेजलवुड की जगह अंदर आ जाए, बट इट माइट ऑल्सो बी द केस दैट Dwayne Bravo को थोड़ा और समय देने के लिए जॉश हेजलवुड अगेन माइट प्ले, बिकॉज जॉश हेजलवुड वाज फैबुलस इन हिज लास्ट मैच. दीपक चार एंड पीयूष चावला, द इंडियन डुओ, विल ऑफ कोर्स बी देयर. दूसरी तरफ अगर हम हैदराबाद की बात करें, David Warner, Johnny Bairstow, they are too much dependent on these two. I'm saying it again. They'll have to turn this around, or else it is not a good sign for Hyderabad whenever you're dependent on your top 2 too much. Manish Pandey has again been really good. He'll want to forget his performance in the last game, but I think he will bounce back. He's a marquee player for them. He's a big player for them. Kane Williamson has bolstered their middle order, another key player for them. Priyam Garg will still be there. We have assumed that the Hyderabad management have been showing a lot of trust on him, and they'll continue doing that. And he might just deliver on one of those days. Abdul Samad looked promising in the last game. We saw very less of him, Abdul Samad. We saw more of him while fielding, and he took some good catches, some good ground fielding, some good outfielding, and he looked good. Abdul Samad is likely to retain his place in the squad. Abhishek Sharma, the floater in the squad, whenever required, he can complete those leftover 2 or 3 overs. And in while batting, he does come in at number 6, number 7, wherever you require him. Rashid Khan, again, we talked about him. Rashid Khan will be there. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Khalil Ahmed, Natarajan. We always talk about this troika of Indian fast bowlers. Khalil Ahmed leaked some runs, but took some crucial wickets in the last game. So Khalil Ahmed will be there. Natarajan has been, as I said earlier, he looks a little bulky, looks a little fitter. His pace is around 135, 137, which is doing him good. Bhuvneshwar Kumar is will always be there, has always been there. Ever so reliable, Bhuvneshwar Kumar. So there we talked about both the playing 11s. And finally, let's come to our last segment. Who has a better chance of winning this game? Currently, I think we haven't seen Chennai step on the field for a long, long time, and we might see that they might look a little rusty. But I think Hyderabad also have their fair share of problems right now. Chennai look like a more balanced side at the moment, whether it's their except the opening slot. I think they also have their problems. Murli Vijay might make his way out as we are predicting today. Ruturaj Gaikwad might be opening. He's a very, very good player while opening. He's a much better cricketer while opening the innings. Apart from that, Hyderabad, the balance of their side before uh, the start of the tournament look better, but as we are going into the tournament, the cracks and crevices of their squad are being exposed. So I think Chennai are in a better position, and I'll go with them. आपको क्या लगता है कि ये मैच किसका बेटर चांस है जीतने का? ग्राउंड भी थोड़ा बड़ा होगा, आज शारजाह में मैच नहीं है, so I think it will be really tough for Hyderabad to turn up and defeat one of the greatest sides that have played this tournament. I am banking, I am going with MS Dhoni today, and I think David Warner will have to wait for another win. That was our pre-match live show. I'll be joining you again before the match at 6:30. Keep watching Sports Tiger, and after that, we'll of course be joined by our cricket expert Atul Vasan, former Indian cricketer, current commentator. He'll give you an analysis of the game along with me. We'll discuss the toss, we'll discuss the playing 11, because by that time, we'll know who's won the toss and what they've elected to do. We will also know what are the changes in both playing 11s. So it'll be really fun again to discuss the dynamics of this game with Atul Vasan. Definitely, I'll be coming back. Keep watching Sports Tiger.